Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mitt podcast, episode number 144. And in this segment, we're going to talk about predicting your future and how to take proactive, concrete steps to create the dream life that we all desire. And by the end of this episode, you're not only going to feel refreshed, but you're going to have an exact blueprint to curating your exact dream life and accomplishing anything that you want to. Real quick before we get started, I want to give you a couple resources for anybody that is wanting extra help to reach the next level. One is I'm doing my first ever 2-day virtual boot camp. It's going to be this Tuesday and Wednesday, the 9th and 10th of December. If you guys would like a spot, we're giving away 200 spots for free. There's a link below. Just click that to register. Also, guys, I have an inner circle group for entrepreneurs either starting or scaling their business. And each month we let in about 5 to 7 different entrepreneurs. If you guys would like a spot, all you have to do is click grantmittconsulting.com. There's the second link below, I believe. Just click that, book a quick call. We'll see if it's a good fit. So let's talk about predicting the future and how to create your dream life. You can almost easily tell what a person's future life is going to look like based on the words that they speak, the conversations they have, and the actions that they take. When you're that person, sometimes it's easy to miss because we're so in our heads about our problems, our relationships, what's going on at work, what's going on in life, and even our emotions, that we miss what we're saying and what we're doing that's actively creating our future. In fact, go back for a second and think about what were you doing and thinking about, worrying about 2 years ago? What was going through your mind? What content, what books, what people on social media, what things on the news? Who were you dating? And what are some of the things that you were talking about? Because those things are likely a strong indicator of why you are currently living the life that you're living, no matter how positive or negative or whatever is going on currently. It created that path to where you are now. One thing I noticed recently, it's been about 11 years since I graduated high school. It sounds crazy to say. About a week ago, I was sitting there thinking about all the people that I grew up with and how they ended up. Because once you get to about 10 years, you start seeing things develop. It's still early, but we're seeing people get married. We're seeing people start businesses. We're seeing people move across the country. We're seeing people get better looking, worse looking, all the different types of things you can imagine. You guys have all experienced similar things. But one of the things that was the most interesting is how everyone has turned out thus far is not one bit surprising. It's not one bit surprising because they were always that person and people just seldomly change. They seldomly change because one, they have their unique characteristics, but habits rarely change. People, as they get older, get more and more stuck in their ways. They talk about the same things. They go to the same places. They date or they hang around the same types of people. So even though it's not the exact same thing every single couple years, it rhymes. It's very similar to the words that they're speaking. So if we want to change our life, even if you're super successful right now, but you want to elevate further, or you want to improve a specific area of your life, the one thing that we always need to first recognize is that if we don't change, nothing around us will change either. If we don't take new actions, have different thoughts, get new people around us, then we're going to consistently keep experiencing the same problem over and over again. And our problems, and even the people that come into our lives, positive or negative, tell us a lot about what we need to fix about ourselves, what we need to improve. If we're constantly around negative people, we have to first look within and go, why are we being put in this situation continuously? What weaknesses in ourselves do we need to improve? What actions do we need to take to be around better people? These are all beautiful signs. Someone asked me yesterday, they said, Grant, I'm in a really negative job. My work environment's toxic. My boss is controlling. There's so much different office politics. What should I do? Obviously, she said, I know I need to leave, but besides that, how do I handle it? What I told her is, this is one of the greatest opportunities you could ever imagine because it is teaching you about your weaknesses, about dealing with difficult people, and understanding the game of power. And if she can't handle this work politics at this stage of her life when she's, in the early parts of her career, how could she handle being at the highest level in 10 years? She may not even get there if she doesn't learn to beat the challenges that she's facing right now. So even when you're in difficult situations, before just immediately reacting and getting negative, be thankful about the things that it's going to teach you. Because if it was easy, you wouldn't be stressing about it and you would elevate past that level so quickly, it wouldn't even be a thought process. And when you face resistance, when you face discomfort, it's a sign that there is a current weakness for the situation or the person that you're dealing with right now that you have to correct. There's a part of your soul that needs to grow. And you can go through this process as long or as short as you choose. What is the key to approaching this situation? The first thing is to eliminate any reactive behavior. When something happens, someone triggers you, a negative situation occurs, someone says something rude, whatever your knee-jerk reaction is, whatever you usually do, pause, stop what you're doing, and gain back control of your decision making. Stop for a second and think to yourself, what is the absolute best move that I could do to put myself in a position to win? I have a good friend. He's starting a business. He's been super successful in real estate, and he's now been investing in trading, and he's done so well that he started a community for it. He's helping people for it. He has hundreds and hundreds of people asking for help, so much so that he doesn't even have the infrastructure to support this. This has all happened to him in 4 or 5 months. And he called me and he goes, Grant, I got this guy calling me about marketing. I got this person calling me about, software engineering. They want 10%. This person wants 5%. This person this. I have all these people give me advice. What should I do? I trust you, and I know that you will give me a level-headed answer. What do you think I should do? And what was great about what he did is he was getting all this advice, but before he made a rash decision, he paused and he thought to himself, who is someone that I know that I can trust to get a level-headed answer? I had been through that same experience about 6 years ago. My first business was taking off. I had all these people trying to join. I was trying not to make mistakes, and I made early mistakes. And so I was able to help him in a similar moment. And he was about to give up 10% rev share of his business. And I said, hey, man, you can find someone that's a Discord software engineer that can probably fix that problem that you're talking about in less than 30 minutes. And it'll probably cost you $200 or less. Make an Upwork account, make this. He texted me 2 hours later. 20 people have already applied. And then he texted me another 30 minutes. I interviewed the guy. And he texted me another 30 minutes. He goes, holy cow, guess how much I just fixed this problem for? I said, what? He said, $50. And the guy said the next 5 mistakes or mess ups or fixes that he needs to do is for free. He said, I just tipped him an extra 50. So what happened? He could have lost 10% of his business to someone who wasn't even that great because he was nervous and reactive and trying to just figure it out and do as best as he could. But what did he do? Even though he was flustered in the moment, he paused and he looked and thought through the best possible way to make him successful. This could be a mentor. This could be AI. This could be researching things. This could be taking a walk. This could be not replying to that person that is trying to trigger you and get you flustered and get you to do something or control you. So pausing and not doing what is reactive allows you to now become in control of your life, to give you back the steering wheel of the ship of your life instead of just reacting to problem after problem after problem. And we're all people that have done this before. I've done this before. So as I'm telling you guys this, I'm reminding myself this, to just go slower. Sometimes you have to slow down or even take a couple steps back to take 10 steps forward. Because that same triggering reactive behavior is just going to create the exact same result over and over again. We don't want to keep repeating ourselves. We don't want to circle around the mountain without actually climbing it. We want to make progress. And that starts with eliminating reactive behavior. All right, so let's talk about how to do this better and a 3-step process that we can all implement to predict our future, create the life that we want, and be in a power position for every single situation that comes to us. The first thing that we want to do to redirect and change our life and channel our energy to a positive direction is cold turkey. We want to go on a negative word diet. This is as simple and self-explanatory as it sounds. Eliminate all negative or evil speech. This means negative things about yourself, about your situation, and about others. Just because you're a good person, just because you go to church and they don't, just because you're successful and they're not, just because you think you do things the right way and they don't, doesn't give you permission to tell people what they're doing wrong all the time. Talking bad about others causes negativity to come back to you. Talking bad about yourself creates a negative life and attracts problems and chaos to you. We're all not perfect, but this can be fixed by forming positive habits. So I'll give you an example. Let's say tomorrow you're doing good. You're saying affirmations, you're feeling good. Suddenly, something negative happens, and you real quickly just kind of spew off a couple negative words. Don't judge yourself. Just replace those words with the opposite positive affirmation about that situation. Okay, let's say that your boss makes you mad, and you go, he always messes us up and he's caused me to not be successful. Pause, recognize what you did, don't judge yourself, and say, this boss is teaching me so much about myself and forcing me to get better. He is going to change my life for the better because of the things that I'm going to learn in this season of my life. Okay, this is going to be the biggest year of my life. This is going to be the most successful financial year of your life. Okay, just replace those negative words with positivity. If you're around someone and they say something negative, don't chime in. If they're talking bad about someone, don't say anything. Remove your attachment from it and redirect the conversation somewhere else. If someone calls you and starts crying or starts being negative or starts venting, one thing that I like to do is I'll just say, hey, what's the best thing that happened to you today? Or, what's your favorite ice cream? Just something to throw them off. What's your favorite color? Hey, what's your zodiac sign? Hey, what's your favorite food? This, that, and the other. Just something to throw it off and redirect the conversation. Each time you do this, you are attracting positivity and success to your life. And you're also teaching the people around you that when they're with you, you're not going to entertain negativity. And they're going to actually probably start learning from you. In fact, the best way to teach is to teach with action, not with words. It's to show the behavior that you want to replicate. For anybody here that's a leader that runs a business or leads a group of people, whatever you want, whatever culture you want to replicate in your company, just be yourself. If you want people in your company to dress a certain way, dress that way. If you want people in your business or your friend group or your environment to be classy and respectful and kind, then you be classy, respectful, and kind. You will start attracting it. And people are extremely susceptible to change. They'll be able to pick up when someone around them is a little bit different or acts a certain way. And it will cause that behavior to replicate. Okay, second thing is to do things that associate with your dream and ideal future life. Right? Well, you say, well, Grant, I want to make tens of millions of dollars a year and build this huge company. How could I do those things now? Well, you could ask yourself, what small habits would that version of yourself do? Would they work out 4 to 5 times a week? Would they read, let's say, the Wall Street Journal? Would they study the markets and keep up with CNBC and big moves in the stock market and mergers and acquisitions? Okay, would they keep up with key policy news and foreign policy news that is important for your business? Would they reach out and regularly talk to other people who are in business? Would they read a lot? Would they meditate? Another thing that you can do is, let's say you want a private jet or you want a dream car. Keep a magazine that has all of the new private jets in it and just keep it on your coffee table in your living room. And just every once in a while, take a look and take a peek through it. Say things like, I can't wait till my jet comes in. I can't wait till I get this car. I'm debating on which one I want. Your brain doesn't know the difference. You're training yourself that this is natural. And the secret to manifesting things is it has to make sense. I used to be the biggest dreamer ever. I remember in high school, I would sit there and talk to my dad about all these dream outcomes. But what I should have been focusing on, and I had to learn, was focus on the things that you need to do to become that person. Because when you actually achieve your dream outcome, if you actually achieve it, it will make complete sense that you achieved it. Every person that is a billionaire right now, it makes sense why they're a billionaire. Anybody that's going to become a billionaire, you're like, oh yeah, they'll definitely be a billionaire. It's obvious. They have the infrastructure, they have the brand, they have the intelligence, they have the connections. Whatever it is, they have it. So to create that future dream self and predict where you're going to go, you have to look at, what are you talking about? What are you thinking about? Who are you around? What are you doing? It leaves clues. It leaves clues, and it gives a pretty clear indication of what's going to happen. And one of the things I was learning, I was telling this to my mom when I was in Houston for Thanksgiving. I was seeing my family, and we were talking about just different things. And she brought up something about business. And what I told her is, I said, the thing I've learned about business is nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. No matter how many affirmations you say, if you don't have the right team, if you don't go out of your way to take massive action, if you don't go through the trial and error and go after big things, you can't just sit there and go, man, I know one day it'll happen, and then you just hope. It just doesn't happen. You have to be a force of nature. Be persistent, be focused, constantly building to truly achieve big things. And that's why everyone that becomes that successful person, for example, everyone that makes the NFL or the Premier League in soccer, the NBA, it made sense why they made it. And once they got in, how successful they were, it made sense also. Their preparation, their thought process, who they're around. How many athletes or business people fall off because they get distracted? They were thinking and doing and preparing all the right ways, but then they stopped doing the things that got them there. We can choose what the next 10 years will look like. It's nobody's decision but our own. But it takes a decisive decision. Having faith and trusting that thinking the right way, acting the right way, going after big things, keeping the right people in the right environments around us will create the result that we choose and that we want. Okay, third is protect your mind. Negative people, negative content, negative environments, and negative news or social media is poisoning your brain. Poisoning your brain. Something that I just did right before I got on this, because I was sitting here thinking through what I wanted to talk to you guys about. And I first looked at my life and I said, well, if I'm going to help others with a topic like this, I need to make sure I'm doing all the right things. And I said, what are some areas right now that I probably need to improve in for this subject? And the first thing that came to mind was certain apps, Twitter and Threads, there's a lot of chaotic energy and voices on there. And the bulk of the voices that are on there are to get views and clicks. They're not positive. There is a lot of news and different things, specifically on X. I learned so much about tech. I learned so much about investing and politics that is really important. But I asked myself, how many minutes do I really need to spend on there in a day? So I set a time limit for 20 minutes. You can do this on all Apple iPhones. Any app you want to limit, you just set how many minutes you want per day. And I clicked on it right now and it said, you've been limited to 20 minutes per day. So I could go through it if I want to, but there's a little notification. Right as I saw it, I pulled away from it. So it's a small action that you can take operationally to protect your mind from negativity. Unfollow celebrities. Unfollow gossip magazine Instagram pages. Unfollow negative news or negative creators that just spew mind-triggering and negative statements that just get you worked up for no reason. Eliminate it. You'll feel so much better. If you're in certain group texts or chats with people who are constantly just disrupting your day, mute it. Another thing that you can do on your iPhones is you can set do not disturb, but you can allow certain types of people or certain types of calls or messages to still come through. So for example, in your workday, you could block every call that is not work or your direct immediate family members. I saw an interview with Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. He said he has two phones. He has one where everyone has the number on it, and then the second phone, only his immediate family. And so the only time he'll answer any call at any moment is if it's the one phone that has his closest immediate family. They can reach him whenever. But everyone else, they can't. It has to be scheduled. So create guardrails and processes that protect your mind. If you only feed your mind wealth, success, positivity, meditation, your religion, success, health, abundance, and that's all you told your brain for 3 months, imagine how more successful you would be. Imagine how much more fulfilled, at peace, and happy you could feel. This doesn't take a therapist. This takes discipline. We are trained to be chaotic. We are trained to be distracted. In fact, we are trained by society to be negative. We're trained to complain. The entire media outlets are designed to create fear and chaos so we want to watch more. So it triggers more and more and more dopamine. So we watch and watch and watch and complain and stress and worry. What if we eliminated all of that and only focused on what we need to know? Imagine how much more our lives could improve. The coolest thing about this is that it doesn't take as long as we think. Because once you become the person that is necessary to accomplish what you want, it's effortless. It's very easy. An example, Elon Musk is one text message away from billions of dollars. He doesn't have to make a single dollar. He can text Larry Ellison right now, say, hey, I'm starting this. This is going to be the future valuation. Would you be down to invest $1 billion? Larry Ellison would reply, thumbs up, yep, whatever you think is best. Because he knows. He could text almost anyone. Why? Because he became the person that knows what to do with $1 billion. If you want to be a person that has amazing friends, an amazing network, that at any moment, no matter what city you're in, you can get into any single restaurant in the world instantaneously without a reservation. That is really, 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 really easy if you've become a person who's connected and has helped enough people and has enough credibility to where that call is super simple. But even if you're amazing, if you don't know anybody yet and you haven't built those connections, it's really, really hard to get into these top restaurants. You may have to book 3 months in advance and hope they don't pull it for someone that's more credible or that knows the owner. So the game is not to get lucky. It's not to meet someone that gives you a big break. The game is to create this future version of ourselves today. It's to do the things now that in 10 years you'll be thankful that you were doing. You should look back every year and go, man, look how far you've come. I was talking to my friend James. He has the School of Hard Knocks. And we were talking about how content that we each made 4 or 5 years ago was so cringy and not even good. We don't even know how it got views. But that is the secret, right? Make the calls before you're ready. Start the business before you're ready. Apply to the jobs before you're ready. But just start. Believe in yourself. And the faith is that you believe that if something is in your heart, it's there for a reason and you're meant for more. Taking bold, courageous action in working on yourself is faith and certainty that you know great things will happen if you continue to push forward and do the right things now. And if you do, that dream life will be created. So I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. As I said at the beginning, the 2 extra ways to get extra guidance. One is we're doing a 2-day boot camp on Tuesday and Wednesday of this upcoming week, the 9th and the 10th. Free registrations below. And then if you guys are interested, you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for extra guidance to grow, scale, or start your business, book a quick call at grantmittconsulting.com. I'm always rooting for all of you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this content. I always work so tirelessly hard to make as much great insights and content and take as many lessons that I've had personally to help you guys grow and be successful. And each time one of you guys message me or come up to me, whether it's a street or a restaurant or whatever the case may be, and say something, it means the world to me. And it makes me want to just keep making this content. So I'm honored. I'm thankful for you guys, and I'm rooting for you. I hope you have an incredible week. Let's finish the year strong. Let's have a huge upcoming 2026. And I'll see you guys again for the next podcast and the daily affirmations. Thanks, guys. Have an amazing week. Talk soon.